Hi, welcome to Classic Car Cave. So just a quick update on the Mk3 Mini. This is the 1970 Mini that we're doing. Amir's taken the rear boot, taken the frame out of the rear boot, and he's actually sandblasting it now. This is the actual skin of the boot. And you can see it's obviously green or some colour at one point. So fortunately we could save that, but it was very bad underneath the rust. So he's fixing that up now, along with the front subframe. So we can then use that to position the front. You really need the subframe in the car. To do it without is not a good idea. You'll not get it straight, you'll get it in the proper position. And a friend of mine who came over from the UK had spent sort of a week or 10 days in Europe, coming up through France, Holland, Germany, up to Austria, and came to Vienna for 2 or 3 days, and he kindly brought me some stuff from Mini Spares, which was the kit for the front subframe, the parts that go onto the toe board. So he brought those for me, the teardrops and a few other things, and he kindly took my Mk3 tonne back to the UK, or he's on his way back to the UK at the moment. And he even said, look, I'm going up to Oxford whenever it is, and he said I'll go along and take it to John Skinner. This is the company that's doing it, so he's going to hand it over directly, which is great, because I was a bit worried about losing it in the post, especially Christmas time. It's not a good time. The post is not great anyway, and not only is it the cost, but trying to get something that's not original. These copies are quite poor. This is why I go to the UK, and I used to go twice a year. Not so much now as I've got older, but I used to go a couple of times a year because I wanted to physically see the parts that I got. Anyway, I'm going to put this. I'll put this video up because on Sunday we're off to Italy for 4 days. We're going down to do a therm at a place called Abano, which is the Padua area. It's not too long a drive from here, probably about 4 hours, something like that. So we're going to have 4 days at the therm and have massages and hot tub and saunas and Turkish bath and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully I can see maybe a chiropractor there, and he can help my back and so on and so forth. So as I say, this is just a little bit of what we're kind of up to at the moment. And the Mini's completely finished, everything's working great. So that's good for this year. No news, I'm afraid, on the race Mini, the Golf Mini. I've got no news on that whatsoever, but there's some reasoning behind that, which I won't go into at the moment, but I will let you know in due course. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the little short video and you see where we're up to. So take care. That's the bonnet all sandblasted. It's actually the original bonnet, believe it or not, for a 1970 Mini. So it's all sandblasted, primed. Couple of little things. There's little bits and pieces of work to do on them. I'll just put that way. You can see quite little pinholes there, a little bit there, but generally, it's in really, really good condition. So we've still got the wings to do. There's some damage here which has got to be repaired. And again, this piece. We just want to take the bit that's overlapping and actually butt weld it in. There's the other wing there. So yeah, what we'll do this year is just finish up probably into January, the end of January, and we'll get all the welding done, because we won't be able to really paint unless we bring a heater down here, the underneath, in February. So it'll be sort of late in the year, early in the year we do it. And as you can see here, there's a lot of parts. Oh, excuse me. A lot of the parts are already cleaned up, ready to go in. So, yeah, you're just finishing up the subframe now. I'll get that subframe done, and then we can finish up get the front on, and then we can put the wings to it. You really need that subframe in to make sure you're lined up, that the teardrops in the front here, underneath here, that these teardrops are lined up with the subframe and the subframe's in place, otherwise you've got nothing to work to. You could be squinting, you wouldn't know it. And obviously then we'll put the wings on, the bonnet on, get everything lined up, dry fit it all, and then we crack on and get it fitted. But yeah, it's coming on the tree. That looks really nice. The boot's been sandblasted as well, it's in the cabinet, but Amir's finishing up the front subframe because that needs redoing. And once that's done, we can fit it on the car. So what we'll do is we'll take this jig off, take this piece off, and the nice thing is we can actually, well no, in fact we can't. No, we want to put the bonnet on, but we can leave that piece in place. No, we can't. We have to take the whole thing off and take the bar out. Just thinking about it now. But anyway, we've got this trolley, this hydraulic. This takes half a ton. It's 500 kilograms. So we'll put that underneath, take it off the jig, fit all the front up, get it in place, and then put it back on the jig to paint it upside down or side on when it's all finished. So there we are. The 36 Citroen, looking a bit forlorn there, but the springs are in the UK now. I should better pick them up in March, and they're all going to be completely renewed. The drop hangers, the pins, the lot. So we put it back on the original spring. So the running gear, engine, drive lines, gearbox, running gear, steering will all be original. And obviously the cab is original, well, what was left of the cab, which was basically that grille, the hood, and the very front of the cab. The back is all brand new. The doors were knackered, we had to rebuild them completely. And there was no back on it. Somebody had just cut it through the B pillar, and that's why we made it into a pickup, as you can see. So the springs have gone, and in the UK, we were with a company called Jones, and we rebuilt all this interior ourselves. As you can see, lots of work to do on that, but the body is basically there. But all the springs are gone. So this is Amir doing the boring job of sandblasting because it takes forever. It really is super slow, and it's cold down here as well. And Russ is finishing up the garden for the winter. So as you can see, everything's quiet, all the pumps are off. We keep them off for the winter now, and the gypsy caravan's covered up over there at the back. I don't know if I could. So that's all covered up, and strange when all the pumps are, because there's 6 pumps in here and 2 waterfalls, so it makes quite a bit of noise. So that's everything ready for the winter. Oh, I better take a lead up. But the water's still as clear as hell. Unbelievable. And we've never had to put a drop of water in there in, what is it now, 14 years? 15 years, whatever it is. So it's worked very well. Yeah. And now the street is in a mess, and it's going to be until the new year, I'm afraid. They're putting in new sewerage and some new electrical lines. Hang on. So you might be able to see there, if I zoom in, you can see this big massive monstrosity thing, this big green thing. It's like a substation. They're taking this away, and this little green one here is going to be the new one. So there'll be no overhead wires going across here. As you can see, the street is a mess, but they're widening it. They're going to widen it, and they're going to completely tarmac it all the way down and make it probably about a metre, no, maybe not a metre, but yeah, possibly a metre wider, but on each side, but brand new tarmac from top to bottom. So yeah, quite a lot of infrastructure going in.